Hey everyone, welcome back. It is time for another wrestling review. This time we are heading back to North America. We are reviewing NXT Spring Breakin. Dumb name, but we'll see what we think of the show after this. With me once again, we have Campo.Reviews, the man who reviews movies, TV shows, wrestling. If you haven't seen it yet, I'll leave a link for it. Go check out our Mandalorian review.
Go check out all of the stuff.
Go check out all the reviews. And if you're not, go sub to them. What are you waiting for?
And if you're not, forget about subbing to me. If you're not subscribed to this channel, subscribe to this channel, because I know for a fact at least 90% of you that are watching are not subscribed.
Yeah, most likely. And our wrestling reviews are the most popular. So if you want me to make more wrestling reviews,
I'll be honest with you, we're not making any money off this. We're just doing it because we love to talk about it. So
wrestling, this is the only reason why I'm doing it. Yeah.
The more subs, the more likes, the more comments we get, the better quality videos we can produce.
Exactly. So let us get right into the review. Our first match. Let's start with the first match. It's the family of Tony D'Angelo and Stax Lorenzo against Pretty Deadly, Elton Prince, and Kit Wilson.
So can I say something? We talked.
So this was a casket match, technically.
Yeah, it was like an ambulance match, whatever you want to call it.
That car was sweet though.
Want to get this out of the way. My culture is not a costume. Okay. Number one, that is a joke. But now jokes aside, we talked in our previous review yesterday. If you haven't seen it, go check it out, about hating things and what do you really hate in wrestling. I hate Stax Lorenzo. I absolutely hate him. I think he's a garbage character. I think he plays the role terribly. I think it's borderline offensive. And I'm
almost like Pat McAfee.
I'm not even offended by it, but I can see how it could be. And I also think he's not very good. When you watch the other three people in this match, and we've talked about this before, I'm not a
Pretty Deadly, one of the best young tag teams out there.
In a pure tag team sense, and also comedically, I think they're hilarious. I hope they somehow find a way for them to be the hosts of every what's it called? Stand and Deliver. They're fantastic. They're great on the mic. I don't care. That's not to do with this.
Their feud with New Day, as much as I don't like the New Day, their feud with New Day was really good.
And I've mentioned we've done a lot of NXT now at this point. I don't watch it weekly. I mean, you've seen probably, if you can see what I watch on your WWE network. I dabble it mostly. If I ever watch anything outside of what we need to watch, it's random episodes of NXT for some reason. I don't know why. Just to like test the waters. But I don't like Tony D. I've slowly, through the Dijak match and what's happened,
grown a small appreciation for this guy.
He's not bad, and as stupid as the character he is, we've talked about this. I think it's fine. He understands it more than Stax. So Stax plays it like a joke. Tony D is clearly really acting. Okay.
He has the potential to make this character like a little Guido, or like from those FBI, Johnny the Bull.
But there's three wrestlers in this match, and if you see this, like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to disrespect you, but there's three wrestlers in this match that are very competent wrestlers, and there's one guy that just doesn't belong. And you can see right from the beginning till the end, even in the vignette you see later, there's one guy that does not belong, and it is you. And
Mr. Lorenzo, that is you.
I'll wrestle you. But joking aside, this was actually a decent match.
And I know we're not fans of these type of casket ambulance gimmick matches.
I think you already know how I feel about casket matches, and now since I've been back, we've already seen 3 of them. But I think more. As a wrestling fan, the ambulance match was borderline offensive. In a wrestling terms. I did not enjoy that with the Creed brothers, and who I don't even remember who was part of that match.
It was what's his name? It was Creed's versus, was it Gallus?
No, it was, what's his name?
The other guy that was Diamond Mine there.
Anyways, it doesn't matter. That match.
It was Julius Creed against whatever his name was.
That match sucked. And that's kind of like my feeling now. That grew my hate towards the casket matches, because we had seen one prior to that, and
and then we also saw the casket match with Apollo Crews and What's his name there? Wasn't Cruz in a casket match?
With the big black guy. I don't know what his name is.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name.
I forgot his name too.
He's a good wrestler.
Yeah.
What the hell's his name?
I can't remember now.
Anyways, it doesn't matter.
I digress. Yeah. But we've seen too many of them already.
And I don't care.
This one worked with the gimmick though, because it told a little bit of a story as the show went on.
Yeah. And
So,
I think it wasn't bad. I think there was three really good wrestlers going at it. They went hard. We know how my feelings of NXT and the fluff, but they do. The difference between NXT and the main roster is, and we've talked about this to death, is they don't go 80% on NXT. They go 95%.
Yeah.
So it's as close as WWE is going to let anyone to be the Impact.
Yeah. Once they move to the main roster, they get a little neutered.
Yes. But this is as close as you can get to being an outside of WWE company or an indie.
Yeah.
They're allowed to go, but to an extent. And
go back, like if you go back to NXT from maybe 2016 to 2019, you had matches between Joe and Balor. You had matches between Joe and Nakamura.
From what I've heard, I haven't seen many. I know you specifically and your brother really want me to go back and watch NXT, but from the inception of the show NXT until about 2018, late 2018, there are nothing but bangers, basically. And even NXT UK. I've a lot of my friends in the UK have told me, listen, you got to go watch some of these Tyler Bates matches or what have
Walter.
you. What's the Japanese lady? I always forget her name. That's been around forever. WCW.
Miko Satomura, something like that.
Yes, Miko Satomura. And she's great. And,
yes.
And I would love to go watch those, but I don't, with all the wrestling we're already consuming, I don't.
It's going to be a lot. Yeah.
I'm already like fully engrossed in the 80s and 90s stuff, and watching what's happening now, I'll eventually get through that time period. Right? The difference is there's no more of those matches being made, so I still have time. Like I'm doing with the 80s and 90s, and I'm getting through it again because I lived that. But I'll get there. And this match is fine.
Yeah, and the family goes over. Yeah, it was a good opener. Okay. I enjoyed as an opener.
I enjoyed it. The gimmick didn't bother me as much as I thought it would. However, I do not like the finish. I think there was two things that bothered me.
I like the ball pit.
I think I know that was funny. I think WWE, as far as production value goes, it's realistically, like, hate me if you want, it's WWE and Pro Wrestling Noah have the best production value, especially the cameras. They're like 4K on Pro Wrestling Noah, so you can't really beat that.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. But two things bothered me about this match, about the way it ended. Number one, the setup with the fire extinguisher.
Yeah, in the trunk.
You could see it in the beginning and you knew it was going to happen. And then when they threw, I can't remember which one of them went into the trunk.
Tony D'Angelo.
No. Of the Pretty Deadly.
Okay.
The first guy that went in.
Yeah.
The camera was on a wide shot, but no one was telling the cameraman in his ear to pan left. So on his right, you had a gap where you could see the car, and the whole time the guy was like pulling. He's supposed to be like knocked out. He's pulling the fire extinguisher out from under his legs, and he's trying to get it out of the car. And then you see they cut away, and then they go back, and it's placed outside of the car on the top of the bumper. And like,
it takes the immersion out a little bit.
Yes, right. And like, I'm not going to really knock points for that, but those are little small things that like personally bother me, because all you had to do was be like, can you please pan left? He has an earpiece. Like,
just pan to the left a bit. Yeah.
You also have control in the camera room. Switch to another camera.
Yeah.
Until you get out of that position, because I didn't like that. But even like I said, when they threw him in the trunk originally, Stacks, you could see that it was right there.
Yeah.
And you knew the trunk's going to open again and someone's going to get...
they also didn't specify that both members have to be in the trunk.
Yes. And also on top of all my issues here, when Stacks sprays them with the fire extinguisher, when he gets out of the trunk and he throws that punch to, like I said, I can't remember, it's pretty good. Not only did it not look good, but all of the fire, the vapor in the air had dissipated, and there was nothing blinding him. He saw him coming right at him and still let him punch him in the face. So, I mean, small problems, but overall,
I'm not going to
actually,
take away from the
a good match.
Yeah.
I digress.
And
I'm sorry.
no worries,
I
no
promised
worries.
I wouldn't make this video long, and I'm already
Yeah,
doing
it's
it.
okay. Pretty Deadly end up losing. So Tony.
Surprising.
Do you think it's surprising?
I
think
it's not surprising because Pretty Deadly's probably getting drafted.
Yeah.
It is surprising because they don't deserve the win. There's nothing
no,
that they've
but
done that shows me that they deserve to be Pretty Deadly.
You see where they want to go with Tony D'Angelo.
Yes, I agree, and I think he's probably going to get a bigger faction. But I also do think that Pretty Deadly's, if not your number one, your number two tag team in the whole thing, and you let a not even a tag team beat you at a blow-off event.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like if two.
Well, Pretty Deadly haven't won a match since they won the belts.
That's true. They're like 3-0 right now, right?
Right. They've lost to the New Day. They lost that gauntlet match that ended up losing the belts to Gallus, and then
that's 4 now. This is 4 losses in a row.
Yeah. So it makes a good tag team like that look weak. But moving on to the next match, which was a quick match. Braun Breaker versus Andre Chase with Duke Hudson at ringside.
I don't like it. I love Braun. I love what his potential is. I love what they're trying to do. They're Goldberging him, and I appreciate it.
Turning him heel.
He's also a better Goldberg than Goldberg was at this point in terms of being a wrestler. It'll be very hard to top what Goldberg was, but as a wrestler in that type of role, he's better.
Yes.
Okay. Chase is a good wrestler. I don't like the disrespect of just constantly squashing him. It doesn't make sense.
Well, he did get the big win at the last event with the win over the Dyad.
But how was that win? Was that like a pure wow, look what you did win, or was that kind of like an iffy, oh, you won the match?
You won the match.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I understand he's here to help put people over and whatever. He's like I'm going to train. He's more of a trainer than he is a wrestler. But
kind of like the way they're using Gulak.
What they could have done was made, especially because he's heel now, made the win iffy for Braun, or
win by disqualification,
or made Chase win by had Chase win by someone interfering, and then have another match where you squash him, because I just find it weird. What's the point of Chase U? Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
They're a comedy gimmick.
And it's not working.
Yeah, because Chase is talented. Chase
works. Chase U doesn't work.
And like I was saying, Chase is talented, and he doesn't get to show that.
Yeah. The other guy, what's the other guy's name that's outside ringside with him?
Duke Hudson.
Is supposed to be a bodyguard, a former security person. So you just let Braun Breaker beat the crap out of this guy, and you didn't interfere, even though you guys are a heel faction.
Yeah. What I think, if they wanted to make this match short, it only was 2 minutes, this match. But Braun should have beaten him until they disqualified him.
Yes.
And then when he got disqualified and he keeps beating, that's when Hudson should have interfered.
Exactly. And like we're talking about, I think even if Chase won, it would have been an awkward scenario because it's a double heel.
Yeah.
And in a double heel scenario, especially in WWE, it's a hard thing to pull off. So you don't really want Chase to win unless it's through something
an even bigger heel. Yeah.
Right. But what you're saying makes sense because you put the bigger heel over by him just beating him senseless.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't feel so bad that Chase is a mark in this situation. Do you know what I mean?
And it sets up another feud with Duke and Braun.
And you have that play out until Braun goes wherever Braun is going.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it could have been booked a little differently.
You know what you could have done? Like, mild digression. Had the next match be both of those guys versus Braun in a handicap match, and let Braun destroy them, and then I would have been like, yes, this is where I want to go. Yeah.
So now Braun is an unstoppable monster at this point.
He should be.
Yeah.
But I just don't like the way it played out.
Yeah, it could have gone a little differently. It should have been booked a little differently. But with that, we're going into our third match of the night. Lyra Valkyria against Cora Jade. Now, you know the story behind Lyra Valkyria's name.
Is there an actual story after I came up with my own thing?
No, it is. Yeah, it came out. Taya Valkyrie. Yeah, with the Taya Valkyrie. Yeah.
So I was right.
You were right.
It's a Google fucking thing, right?
Mm-hmm. It's for metrics.
I knew it. But listen, can I say something? She's real cute. Shout out if you ever want to call me.
She's also the better wrestler than Cora Jade.
Dude. Listen. Give me 37 seconds.
Go.
I think Cora Jade is good. I think she has a high ceiling. I think she's going to get better. She plays a really good heel.
Mm-hmm.
I do think she worked well in this match, but she was by far the inferior wrestler.
Oh yeah, Valkyria's head and shoulders.
Offense is explosive. Mm-hmm. It's so explosive, and her ability to take moves to take damage is great.
Yeah.
My biggest issue of this whole match is not Cora Jade being good or bad. It's Cora Jade has exposed defense. And I don't know if that's a term. I made it up myself. And what I see in that, it's when you're about to take a move and you open up for it. She every time something was going to happen, she stood in spot.
You know who does that? Liv Morgan.
Okay, we're on the same page.
We're on the same wavelength. Yes.
But it's like, and I do think both of them have potential. And I think Cora might be better than Liv, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I really like the way Cora wrestles.
Her in-ring work is good. It's not there yet.
It's not great, but it's good. And her heel work is great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll give her that. Her heel work is great.
She works better as a heel than she does as a babyface.
Watch Lyra wrestle. Her offense is so explosive. Move, and you're like, whoa, that just happened. It's like almost like I'm trying to think of someone who uses like a karate style, like maybe like Kenta, the way he comes at you and
almost
it's like
with that martial arts
attack. Yeah. And the way she takes damage is it flows. I mean, it's not great, but it flows. But you watch Cora, it's run to the spot. She got there too early. It happened 5 times in this match where I was like, she got here. There was one where she wasn't, you could tell Lyra was setting up for something and Cora got up like 10 seconds too early. So she stood up, realized it wasn't happening, had to run over to it and then wait for her to climb up on the ropes and jump off.
Yeah, like you said, it's very much like we said, that Liv Morgan style. Like
it's a big issue with the women wrestlers in NXT, and we'll see it a little bit later as well. Cora's a little bit more showy of it. Like it's a new term I've just did. It's called exposed defense. It's when you're going to take a move, but you show your cards too early. You're like,
and you allow them to.
Yeah. It's not you allow. It's you got there before you're supposed to, and now you don't know what to do, so you just set up to take the move.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
And everyone can see that like you're there too early.
Yeah.
But you know what? Decent match.
Yeah, and Cora goes over.
But I take offense to that because Lyra should get a push.
Yeah.
She's very good.
I have a feeling there may be a little like we'll talk about it at the end of the show. But okay, so with that, we're gonna go into our, which is weird, in the middle of the card. Only one of 2 belts. Wesley nowhere on the show to be found.
This whole event was really weird to me.
Yeah, I think it's also because it's not a actual premium live event. It's just a special episode of.
Without ads, it was 1 hour and 32 minutes. I think. When I watched it.
Were you able to watch with the picture-in-picture or?
They had no ads.
Oh, I had to watch picture-in-picture.
I watched it today as we're filming this. It had no ads. So it was only 1 hour and 32 minutes.
So you got to watch the full show.
But where we are now, we've watched after this. So the match we're about to talk about, when this match ended, it was only at like the 41-minute mark. I'm like, what the hell are they gonna do for the next hour of this show?
A lot of promos. You
already had 3 big matches and now a championship match, and there's still this much time left.
Yeah,
but the Indy Hartwell match goes a little bit long.
Yeah, and that was the longest match.
We'll talk about why it went long because I know why it went long.
Yeah, but so we got Carmelo Hayes on his first title defense against a really good opponent. He's starting to grow on me too, Grayson Waller.
I think he's a great heel. He's one of the best heels. I'm so surprised he's not called up.
Yeah, he plays that dickish, like douchebag guy, like social media influencer, if you whatever you want. He plays it so well.
I can throw names out all day: Ilya Dragunov, Tyler Bates, Braun Breaker, that should be called up.
Yeah,
but there's three guys that I am starting to really have a lot of love for. It's Grayson Waller,
Mm-hmm.
Mello Hayes,
Mm-hmm.
and Wesley. I
Yeah.
think those three guys, man, if you're not calling them up soon,
if he can just tweak his character a little bit and show a little bit
he
more
needs
charisma.
to get rid of that
Trick
freaking
Williams.
bucket.
Yeah.
Oh my god, bro. This one made me really mad with him being there.
Yeah.
He doesn't service anything of the match.
He doesn't serve a point. He doesn't.
And then Grayson Waller threw him an absolute beatdown.
Yeah.
So if you're not there as a bodyguard, what is your point of existing?
Yeah.
If Grayson Waller just throws you a beatdown,
I think there is going to be a split between the two.
We know there is. When they get main roster, don't, like I said this before, don't be surprised if he gets cut.
Oh yeah, if Mello goes to the main, that's it. Trick is not coming with him.
Trick is probably going to get cut from WWE.
Yeah, most likely.
I think Mello's favoritism right now is what's holding him in this company.
Yeah, because Mello holds a lot of Mello holds a lot of sway.
Mello is not a good NXT wrestler. He's not a good NXT wrestler. He's a great wrestler.
Yeah.
Period.
Mello could be like a Lio Rush in New Japan.
Mello's better than Lio Rush.
Yeah, eh? You're gonna go out and say that.
I'm gonna say that because
I'm not gonna disagree.
You want to know why? Look at what we've seen from him. Look how good he's been, and he's never gone 100%.
Yeah.
Put Lio Rush in a put him versus Lio Rush in a match outside of WWE where they're allowed to use tables and chairs.
Yeah. Mello's got it.
Lio Rush is great. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, no, yeah, of course.
But I think Mello is like he isn't, but he has potential to be a generational talent.
Yeah, I think so.
He's the best wrestler, not named Ilya Dragunov, that
in
exists
NXT.
In NXT.
Yeah, I could agree with that. And it's another like great athleticism by like Carmelo. I even said it in my notes. He needs to drop Trick Williams. Waller is, like I said, he's one of the more underappreciated wrestlers.
Yeah. And I think we both had mixed, like, I know you like it more because you're a Gargano fan, but I think we both kind of had mixed feelings about that match. But I think we realized after watching this match, at least I did, that Grayson Waller was not any of the problem. Gargano wasn't ready for that match.
No.
And I don't think he's bad. I went back, like you said, and I've watched some Gargano, and he's actually really good. And I'm sorry for ever talking doo-doo about him.
Right.
But I do think after coming back from this injury, he hasn't been ready to do what he
Gargano, at this stage in his career, like Gargano's getting a little older.
He's in a weird place.
Yeah.
He still has it, but he's scared
Gargano
to go because he could get hurt.
I think they're just biding their time until Tommaso Ciampa comes back and they can reunite that tag team.
Well, apparently he's hurt again, Gargano.
Yeah. Eh?
He re-injured something that he hurt before in his back or his shoulder.
Because the showing he did in that Elimination Chamber match
was good.
Yeah.
But that's because we got a limited bit of him, right? And like I said, I don't think it's because he doesn't have the skill anymore or the injury hindered his ability. I think he's scared to get hurt
again. Yeah. And I think that's why he's holding back. I agree. That's why he would work better as a tag team, because
and him and Ciampa would be an excellent tag team.
They were. Go watch their match against Go watch their match against the Revival FTR.
You want to make me really happy in the world of wrestling? Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, Ring of Honor tag team champions. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it. Give them to me on Ring of Honor.
But how much, because when Gargano re-signed, how long did they sign him for? That's the question.
I don't know. I'm just shooting the shit.
Yeah.
But that's a place where I would appreciate him more, I think.
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, Carmelo retains. After Carmelo retains, he calls out Braun for a rematch.
But I like how in the promos he got in Grayson Waller's face and he was like in his face, and he was like, and still. And then when he won and they were like, and still, I was like, oh, I'm glad I watched that promo.
Yes. And so he calls out Braun, and Braun absolutely demolishes him where he gets carried out on a stretcher.
Oh, I love heel Braun.
Yes. I as much as I enjoyed Braun before and the potential that this guy has.
This is where it's at.
Yeah. And I could see, but the problem is if they call Braun up to the main roster, he's a face.
If they call him up to the main roster, he needs to stay heel, number one. Number two, they need to do whatever they can in the entirety of their power to never let him wrestle Gunther, Cody Rhodes, or Solo Sikoa. Because those are three guys they're pushing as like almost unbeatable forces.
Yeah.
And if he beats Sikoa, you defeat all of his purpose because he came up from the NXT roster, put in his work, and to have him lose to a guy who just came up, no. You can't have him beat Cody Rhodes because Cody Rhodes is two-face, and you can't beat who was the other guy?
Gunther.
You can't beat Gunther because Gunther is an absolute monster right now, and he needs to keep winning.
Yes. Gunther at this point cannot lose.
But I'm worried because we know how WWE booking works.
Yes. You know, they're pushing Roman for the 1,000 days.
Yeah.
But I'm worried about Gunther making it to the 400 and you know what I mean?
Someone told me a great theory today, and I'll spit it out as fast as I can. You let this play out however it works. Even if you give Seth Rollins the new title, you go into next year Royal Rumble, you have Cody come in number one, you have him win the Rumble again, you hint at the feud with Gunther again where they both go all the way to the end and he wins. You have him challenge Roman Reigns again, you have him beat Roman Reigns at the next Mania, and then you start the feud with Gunther and him. Because by then, Gunther's title will be past the days that they are trying to get it past.
Yeah.
This is my thing. If you bring Braun Breaker up, the first thing you do, you let him demolish every jobber you have Goldberg style.
Yeah.
Don't have him wrestle anyone of relevance.
Yeah.
Have him go 30-0 against jobbers. Let him face Austin Theory, have him destroy Austin Theory, and let him reign with the U.S. title for like a year.
My theory, I think, is going to change that because I don't think Austin Theory is going to hold on to it for much longer.
Hey, can I? But mine's not bad, right?
Yeah, no, yours is pretty good.
Well, let's NXT. We're going too far.
Yeah, we're going too far. We're fantasy booking again. This is not a state. Yeah, and then Braun Breaker absolutely demolishes him. They carry Melo out on a stretcher, and it's going to make Melo look even better when he beats Braun Breaker again.
Yeah, because he's going to beat him again.
Yeah, especially if Braun's going up to the main roster.
If I'm them, you do a really quality showing from Melo, and then you have what's his name interfere and make sure that they beat
Trick.
Braun.
Yeah,
you have Trick hit him with a chair, something to make
kind of like what they teased a little bit in this show.
Yes, exactly, because you want him to have animosity to him, and you see it because he got speared, right?
Yeah,
so he's also mad at him, and I think.
You want Trick, and you want Melo mad at Trick.
This is how you do a split. Exactly. Oh my God, you read my freaking mind.
Yeah. Like, can you stop interfering in my matches? You're costing me. You're like, you know what I mean? Like, it's.
And then that's when Braun disappears. Gone.
Yeah, done. I like it. After that, we have our mixed tag team match of the night. Josh Briggs and Fallon Henley against Brooke Jensen and Kiana James.
100% dog shit.
Yes, the only person that's able to wrestle in this match and not very good was Fallon Henley.
Yeah, two pretty ladies and two can't wrestles.
Yes.
Well, none of them could wrestle, but I'm not looking at men.
Yeah. But
I mean, people might.
Briggs and Jensen do not work as single competitors. They work as a tag team. When they were a tag team, they were good.
I agree with you, and I've seen a few, and I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. I think this was an experiment because I think they wanted to push Jensen as a solo competitor. You saw it with the slick back ponytail and the mustache. That is an awful look.
I think it's Fallon Henley. Wait, did I say the name right?
The blonde girl?
No, what's the dark-haired girl's name?
Kiana James.
I think I genuinely think this whole match is based around her. Yeah. I think she has the look. She's very pretty. She has a wrestling physique. Yeah. And I think we know that's what WWE
I know,
likes,
but the only problem with Kiana James is the fact that she's not very good right now.
Yes, but we know, like I said, she's very pretty. She has a wrestling physique.
Yeah.
That's what WWE likes. And for women wrestling, she's a lot larger than the average women's wrestler. Yeah. So, and we know how WWE favors that kind of nonsense. And I could see this match is being based around a storyline where she's going to get pushed.
Yeah, I think Kiana's next in
But
line.
that was my opinion prior, and I still will stick with that. But I kind of agree with what you said. I'm not gonna lie. I
About
kind of
Fallon
think,
being the better wrestler.
yeah,
Yeah, she is.
and I
She
think
was the
that,
best worker out of everybody in there.
and I think they're gonna push Mustache Boy. I think you're right about that too.
Yeah, I
I
think,
think that's
but
what
you
it's
saw
about.
at the end of Henley and Josh Briggs end up winning the match. Due to interference with that purse again or
Yeah,
whatever.
I saw she got knocked off the ropes. Dumb
Yeah.
doo doo.
Oh, but did you see how she was like he threw the bag. He was supposed to hit her with the bag and he threw the bag and he even missed hitting her and she just threw herself off the ring apron.
Well, no, this is how I took it. It's funny that you said that because I, at the end of seeing it, I was like, oh, maybe this was a botch. But when it was happening and they showed the replay, the way I saw it play out was she was hugging the ropes and he hit the ropes so hard that it launched her.
Okay.
But
I saw it as a
now,
botch.
and towards the end, I was like, maybe it was a botch, but whatever. But now that you're saying that, you know what? I'll take your opinion, and it probably was a botch.
Yeah, because like I said, and then at the end, he goes, "But you still love me," blah blah blah, and she's like, "I never loved you," blah blah blah, and they break up.
What about all the messages, the emails?
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah,
a
it is
stupid
what it is.
storyline, but it ends with Briggs and Jensen kind of reuniting.
It
So
is what it is.
they have no tag teams, especially with Pretty Deadly being called up. They need tag teams. So let's keep them together as a team for now.
Yeah, I don't want any more of Gallus than I have to endure.
Exactly. Next we have another squash match, the debut of Obafemi against Oro Mensah. Now, Oro Mensah is a guy you're trying to push. Why would you have him get squashed in 3 minutes?
Listen to me. Listen to me. I watched this match not knowing either one of these people, and just from the exposition that we get, I came to the exact same conclusion as what you just said without even having to say it. You said exactly what I thought during that match, and I didn't know who either guy was. They just explained it to me while I was watching it, and I was like, wait, what? You're pushing this guy and he lost to this guy?
Yeah. The one thing I'll give Obafemi, he's a much better Omos.
Yeah, he's clearly an actual athlete.
Yeah.
The other guy was good too.
Yeah, Oro Mensah is good. Like if he had a couple great matches against Fraser, what's his name? Jack Fraser, whatever his name is.
I think it's Jack Fraser.
And then
Axiom. I'm not good with names.
Yeah.
I'm not the name guy.
Axiom, he had a few good matches with Axiom.
I like Axiom.
Yeah. But did you see that stupid promo from Scripps sitting like Batman?
This is the thing. The internet, they brought him in. I don't remember what his name was originally. People kind of liked him. WWE didn't like him. They made him into Scripps. The internet.
Reggie. He was Reggie.
The internet absolutely fucking destroyed him as Scripps. They took him off TV, and now he's back. And nobody wants it. Nobody cares for it. And
it's like
Roman
when they brought
Reigns
back
as a face.
But it's like when they brought back. It's when they brought back a few years ago when Tensai came back, A Train, whatever, Prince Albert from
and they made him the Funkasaurus's friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't.
But not only that, like they brought him back.
We don't like the Funkasaurus in this house.
No, but the thing is, they brought him back after he had this phenomenal run in New Japan as Giant Bernard.
Yeah.
And they brought him back.
They were like, "Oh, you're Japanese."
Yeah, Lord Tensai.
And then that didn't work, and they're like, "Guess what? You're a Funkasaurus now."
Yeah, because the first night on TV, everybody started calling him Albert. They all started chanting Albert.
Why wouldn't you just bring back Albert, who that everyone knows as Albert, and you already have clout?
Yeah.
Stop pretending, WWE. Stop pretending. His name is Prince Devitt.
Not Finn Balor. But he chose the name, though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure his real name is Finn.
Fergal.
Yeah, well, it's probably like a Irish thing. Yeah, Finn.
But his name is. It is Devitt, though. It's Fergal Devitt.
Yeah. But it's Prince Devitt.
Yeah. But they're trying to push this Oro Mensah.
Imagine you brought in Shinsuke Nakamura and your name is Kato from the Green Hornet. Sorry, Okada. we're talking not a good wrestler, not a great wrestler,
Yeah.
an absolute ace, legendary status person that is the face of an entire country's wrestling. You are Kato from Green Hornet because the movie's coming out. I digress.
Seth Rogen. But yeah. Quick match, so we won't dwell on this as much. Obafemi just washes him.
Boba Fett won. It's what it is.
Yeah, Boba Fett, exactly. So with that, we are going to our main event of the evening. It's Indy Hartwell defending the Women's NXT Championship against Roxana Perez and Tiffany Stratton. My first question.
Tiffany Stratton, no. Is that your first question? Why are you here?
No, my first, not even a comment. First thing I thought when I saw Tiffany Stratton, she is here just to take the pin.
She didn't take the pin.
But that surprised me. And that surprised.
Okay, so let's just talk about it now. Indy Hartwell goes over.
Yes.
This match went far longer than it needed to go because Hartwell got hurt and they didn't know what to do.
Yeah, it was 15 minutes. And 10 minutes of that 15 minutes was without Indy Hartwell because she got hurt due to Tiffany Stratton's botch.
However, I will give them credit that Perez and Stratton,
they had to carry the match. They had no choice.
But they did it. And this match wasn't bad.
No,
it was fine. I'm not someone who loves Indy Hartwell. I know the NXT community and the WWE community love Indy Hartwell. She's good. She's fine. I'm really happy to see her win the title, but she's not a match carrier.
She's no Zoe Stark.
And Stratton does not belong in this match. So you had three kind of awkward situations.
Yeah.
And then on top of the ankle injury, which I noticed it right away when it happened. I was like, holy crap.
You saw the bend. Yeah.
She got like flexed back. But it was what it was. They managed to pull out some kind of match. You could see them kind of conversating. And this time, good job, WWE. Cut away from all the convos.
And this time the injury is legit. It's not a work. It's an actual.
But they cut away from all the work. Every time they talk to each other, you knew it because we're wrestling fans. We watch this. We know they're talking. But WWE cut away from every moment of it and never showed it. And they planned it out well. They handled the match. They didn't know if she was going to come back. What are we going to do? Clearly, Roxanne has to win.
Apparently, rumor has it that it was Tiffany winning.
Really?
If Indy couldn't come back.
So Indy came in, wrestled literally, I swear to you, if you haven't watched this yet, she wrestled on one foot.
Yes.
On one foot for the remainder of the match. She finally got in a good, solid couple of moves where the match should have been over. They should have let it end, but Perez came in and hit her, and I was like, dude, you're an idiot. That's the only thing I was thinking in my head. I'm like, you know she's supposed to win this match. Plus, why would you want to be the one who loses? She's injured. Let the match end. And when Perez did that, I was like, oh, this is so stupid. And it went for like another 3 minutes where she had to wrestle on one leg.
One leg. And she couldn't, like, when she finished off with her smash to the back of the head, you could see she was having difficulty running after bouncing off the rope.
Like, I'm not taking away any points.
No
botches because she was wrestling legitimately on
those
one
were not
fucking
botches.
leg.
She was having the fact that she was out there doing that is
when
amazing.
She did the spine buster, I was like, oh my god, how is she gonna drop down? And she didn't, and I was like, oh,
probably
thank God.
She probably caused more harm than good.
But it's weird the kind of change in mentality you have when you know someone's injured in a match. Like the Adam Cole or whatever, when you know something went wrong and you're, instead of being elated with what you saw or being negative the way that it ended, you're like, holy shit, I hope that person's okay.
It's
That's
like
how
when
I was like,
the
please
Moxley,
don't do it. I was like, don't
the Moxley
do it.
Hangman match.
Yes, exactly. I was like, please don't do this. I'm like, I didn't want her to do it, and when she did it, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah,
that's how I felt when Roxanne broke up that pin. I was like, oh no,
why would you
do that? But you know what? Decent match.
Yeah, it was one of the better NXT.
I don't like Perez or Stratton, and I'm not a big Hartwell
Booker T
fan.
Was all pervy as usual.
He wasn't as bad as I expected. As bad on this one,
night.
But he was his worst moments were in the mixed tag match.
Yes, the way he was talking about Henley and Kiana,
but it was fine.
NXT is slowly starting to improve on the last few shows.
They understand kind of. I think the reason we kind of got into a weird issue was we really liked Worlds Collide.
Yeah.
And then
Stand and Deliver was really good.
Yes, but what
this was a little bit of a step back
between Stand and Deliver and Worlds Collide. The issue they had was they had all these new cast members and didn't know how to integrate them into it. So we were slowly figuring out what works here, what works there, and now we've kind of figured it out.
Yeah, and now they have their champions set. They have their.
And anytime Nikita Lyons is not wrestling, we're all happy.
Yes.
Cannot doo-doo, poo-poo doo-doo.
Yeah.
Wrestle me, I dare you. But yeah, match of the night. It was the women's Cora Jade, I think. Only
you think that was?
But I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Not because it was actually the best match of the night, because Lyra really impressed me.
Okay.
Realistically, the best match of the night was Carmelo.
It was Carmelo, yeah.
But I'm gonna give this to them because I think they deserve the shout out.
Okay. I'll agree with that. So what would you score this? I
wanted to go higher, but at the end of the day, it's a 7 out of 10.
Okay, so you're not far off from what I had. I gave it a 7.3.
It was a good event. It's watchable.
Yeah.
A 7 is good. I mean, a 6 is a watchable event, right?
Yeah.
A 7 is good.
It's a good event. Yeah.
I was entertained for the entirety of this, but I just think there was little bits and pieces that I can pick at that.
Yeah.
And I still hate the announcing.
Yeah. I mean, that's also the reason why I score the Impact shows a little bit better, is because I just love listening to those two.
I mean, Impact's pretty good.
Yeah, and they've taken a lot of strides. So with
goddamn Stardom.
Yes. If you haven't, go watch yesterday's review. We reviewed Stardom's was it All-Star Grand Queendom?
Yeah, and if you made it this far, let us know in the comments everything that you don't like that I said.
Disagree with us. Come at us.
Well, we want to just respond, you know? We're going to have fun times.
Oh, yeah.
Wrestling is for conversation.
Come at the champs.
Double intercontinental champion.
Right? Holding both belts. So with that out of the way, thanks again for joining us. We'll see you next time. And goodbye and good night.